All right, for more on the potential for a diamond futures index and the outlook for the diamond industry at large, I'm joined by Nick Colas. He is the Chief Market Strategist for global agency brokerage Convergex. Nick, always good to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nick, we just saw there Martin Rappaport, undisputably one of the leaders in the diamond industry, saying that he plans to launch a diamond futures index. How viable do you think that is?
Well, first of all, it's a great idea. Industry futures market to help manage the inventory cycle, a really critical problem for diamonds. The issue really is that every diamond's a little bit different. And one thing the futures market tends to rely on is having a very commoditized product. Every ounce of gold is the same, every ounce of silver is the same, every bushel of corn is the same. And so the challenge will be figuring out how to tweak the basket so that you can accommodate slightly different diamonds in a good deliverable package.
His answer to that is that he's going to put together a basket of diamonds, all certified by the American Gemological Institution. Would that be good enough?
It should be good enough, yes. I mean, we're certainly going to have to tweak it, but the real key issue to having any futures market take off is there demand? And there will be demand for this product for sure.
What makes you so sure about that?
You know, the industry really needs a product like this. Right now, it's a very fragmented, almost cottage industry for something that we all know is a global enterprise. And it does need this kind of financial hedge to allow manufacturers and then the folks who polish the stones to manage their inventories over the course of a year, because those demands can be very, very broad.
Well, speaking of diamond demand and diamond pricing, you've just released a report, and you say that diamond prices can be a useful proxy for the health of the emerging market consumer. Why is that? How do you make that correlation?
Yeah, it's really interesting. The base load market for diamond demand in the world is the U.S., about roughly 40% of demand. But the number 2 market is China. The number 3 market is India, and they take up over 20% of global demand. And so as demand shifts in those emerging markets, they have the effect of dramatically impacting price, either for the good or for the bad. So it really measures the marginal consumer, which happens to be in important emerging markets.
All right, so if it gives us an outlook on the emerging market consumer, what picture are current diamond prices painting about that?
You know, it's a very mixed bag. At the lower end, the smaller diamonds, say at less than a carat, 0.3 to 0.5, those stones have had a really tough time. Demand's really fallen. There's a lot of inventory in the system, and those prices are now actually lower than they were during the middle of the financial crisis in 2007 and 2008. For bigger stones, a little better picture. Those are stable, but they haven't gone up very much in the last year.
So what does that tell us then about emerging markets? That they're not as developed, as consumer-oriented as we'd like them to be?
What it seems to say is the middle class in emerging markets has had a little bit tougher time. You know, a diamond's a very discretionary purchase. You don't ever have to buy a diamond. You buy it because you want it, and because it's a very beautiful.
There's an argument to be made against that, perhaps. if you have a lady on your shoulder, that could be said otherwise. But yes, let's go with your thesis.
Absolutely true. So at the margin, those smaller diamonds aren't getting demand right now. Now, we're confident that it will recover, because it always does. It's very cyclical. But for the moment, it tells us that emerging markets like China, like India, are having a tough time at the middle class level. At the upper class, those big diamonds, that's still fine.
So does a diamond that's 4 carats plus retain its investment value? And are diamonds a good investment now with this dip? Is it a good time to be buying them?
Yeah, it's the key question here, I think, and one that we hear from our clients who are really interested in that report. And what they told us is they're looking at 2 things. The first are absolutely perfect diamonds of a carat or higher. Those used to be, back in the 1960s, say $2,700. Now they're $28,000 to $35,000. So they really have proven and stood the test of time. The other option, very big diamonds, 4 carats and up, because we've seen those diamonds hold their value in the last year when everything else fell.
Is that really then a case of supply and demand, that the diamonds 0 to half a carat have lost value since 2007, whereas the 1/2 a carat plus have gone up? Is that just because there are just fewer bigger diamonds?
Yeah, that's very well put. There's very few very large stones, and there's very few perfect stones. And like with any commodity, if there's a scarcity and you have demand, the prices will rise with time.
All right, well, Nick, De Beers, as we know, revolutionized the diamond market with the concept that a diamond is forever, that a diamond is the everlasting symbol of love. Is that marketing notion still holding? How is it being translating to newer generations? Are millennials buying into this?
You know, it's a really challenging concept. In the U.S., I'd say there is some trepidation among millennials who are facing student loans that they might have to pay back and difficult job prospects getting that good first-time job. So household formation has been very slow. We've seen that in the housing sales, and we see it in diamond demand as well. In emerging markets, this concept's just catching on for the first time. And there's a lot more growth because people are buying into the notion that a diamond is a wonderful symbol of true love.
Nick, we are moving into the holiday season, a big time for gift giving, of course, and typically a really good time for the diamond retail industry. Who is poised to do well this holiday season?
You know, right now it seems that it's going to be a challenging season because these prices are so low. Really what we read about from the industry side is they're looking for 2016 and 17 to be the real banner years because prices have plummeted so much because of the oversupply this year. So I'm afraid we're going to have to wait till Christmas 2016 to see the payoff.
All right. Well, I'll take a diamond gift and any holiday season. All right. Thank you so much, Nicholas, Chief Market Strategist for global agency brokerage Convergex.